Thank you. Appreciate that. I'll follow them. Okay. No worries.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is 2:00, and so I'd like to call to order the very first meeting of the Board of Water Commissioners of 2026. And we will begin with a roll call.
Chairperson Einhauser,
Present.
Vice Chairperson Blackman, Commissioner Garcia, Commissioner Forte, Commissioner Kinlock does plan to join us. Commissioner Davis is absent, but we do have a quorum.
All right, thank you very much. And the next item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. And I would like to recommend that. Not yet.
Oh, sorry.
Waiting at a wedding. And the young man said, I do. I said, not yet. Well, let's amend the agenda to remove item 2026-29, which is 10A under new business. That one's not ready to go yet. And under receipt of correspondence, you have at your places a letter to Celie McClellan responding to a letter she sent us, and we're going to add that to item A, receipt of correspondence. So Commissioner Garcia, with that amendment.
Support.
It's been moved and seconded. Any changes, amendments? All in favor, please say aye. Those opposed, that's unanimously adopted. Next, we go to the minutes of December the 17th, 2025. What is your pleasure? It's been moved by Commissioner Forte, supported. Any changes, corrections? Favor, please say aye. And that's unanimously adopted. Next, we come to public comments. And who will read the rules of the road?
To make a comment, please raise your hand by using the raise hand icon on your desktop or mobile device using the Zoom app. If you are calling into the meeting by phone, press *9 to raise your hand. During public comment, after your name is called, you will be given permission to unmute. In order to begin speaking, you will have to unmute yourself. To do so, press the unmute button, which is the microphone icon if you're online or on the Zoom app, or *6 if you're calling in. At the beginning of your comment, please share your full name and the community or neighborhood you live, work in, or are representing. The timer will start after your introduction. You will have a limit of 3 minutes to make your comment, and please keep your comments to public comment. This is not an opportunity to request information or data, which can be done through the city website and Legistar. If you make a comment, and in order for DWSD staff to follow up with you, we kindly request you complete the comment card link located with the Board of Water Commissioners meeting event posted on the DWSD homepage at detroitmi.gov/DWSD. You will only be called upon once. Once the chair closes public comment, there will be no other comments from the public, and all attendees will remain muted for the duration of the committee meeting. Thank you for your attention.
All right. Is there anyone who wishes, the list is being brought up?
Here. Can I make a suggestion that's just slightly out of different than we've done this in the past? But as you know, members of Wayne Metro wrote a letter that had 4 questions that we have now entered into the record. We've already responded to those questions. So can I suggest that maybe Matt Phillips go to the microphone and read the 4 questions? They're very short. Read the 4 answers, and then that allows the callers to have that context if in fact they want to frame their questions differently or ask different questions.
Very good idea.
And after they've already commented.
Mr. Phillips.
Afternoon, Board. Thank you. Gary, just a quick correction. It's We the People of Detroit that sent the letter. And so it is it's on the agenda today. It's being entered into the record. They did have 4 specific questions that they asked in the letter. And if I may please respond to those questions, Mr. Chair. The first question was, while categorical eligibility offers some ease for customers who are enrolled in the low-income programs, how will other customers' income be verified? And our response is, if a resident is not categorically eligible or cannot provide a current award letter proving they are categorically eligible in a program such as like SNAP, SER, TANF, they can provide evidence that their household income is at or below 200% of the poverty level. And that evidence could be pay statements over the last 30 days, tax returns, that type of thing. So there are other areas.
Just for context, what portion of the applicants qualify categorically and what percentage have to go through a different process?
So currently, 72% of all the applicants that apply for the H2O program are qualified because they receive a categorically eligible benefit.
The board, to be clear about what that means, if they're already on food stamps or receiving some other form of assistance, 77% of the applicants that are applying are approved within a number of hours. And then there's a smaller percentage, and I'm dealing with a senior citizen right now who may be on Social Security, but is on no other social service, so she has to submit income requirements. But that's a minority number of people that are applying.
Thank you. The second question was, does Promise Network possess the computational software knowledge and sensitivity to determine income eligibility? And just as a reminder, Promise Network is the vendor that we chose to process the verification of income for the Lifeline H2O program. And Promise Network has years of experience running a wide variety of income qualified programs, including federally funded programs like LIWAP, which is the Low Income Household Water Assistance Program, and the Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program, most of us know as LIHEAP. They currently work to make it as simple and easy for households to enroll in these critical programs, and they provide this type of verification in many other states across the country, including but not limited to the state of Michigan, Florida, New York, Washington State, Maryland, and Mississippi. The third question is, what will happen to former Lifeline customers who have accumulated arrears due to a surprise, unaffordable bills at the termination of the program? Our response is that all 2024 to 2025 fiscal year enrolled participants in Lifeline received several letters in the months leading up to the end of the previous Lifeline program period. These letters, the letters that the enrolled recipients received indicated that September of 2025 would be the last month that that household would receive Lifeline benefits. The program guidelines and policies specifically state that the Lifeline program and benefit period would be from the enrollment date through September 30th of 2025. So we did provide notification to all of the former enrollees in Lifeline. The fourth question that they had, and final, was will they be required, and they as the households that were in Lifeline, be required to pay their arrears accumulated since October 1st of 2025 to enroll in Lifeline H2O? And our response is households are responsible for paying all arrears accrued on their accounts. However, we recognize that there is a financial stress that many households experience, and we're currently evaluating options for households with arrears to enroll in the Lifeline H2O program. DWSD is committed to serving as many residents as possible, maintaining their water service, and receiving an affordable monthly water bill. Those were the total of the 4 questions that were in the letter.
Mr. Phillips. Commissioners, any questions?
To comment.
Commissioner Blackman.
Pleased to hear the responses that were provided and that letting our customers and our affiliates know that we are on top of their requests. We are responding, and our first goal is to make sure that our customers receive all of the benefits they have coming to them.
All right. Any other questions or comments? All right, then, the first person who I have who's requested an opportunity to address the board is Peggy Lucas. Ms. Lucas? All right, we can come, if she shows up, we can come back. Oh. Ms. Lucas, good afternoon.
Hi, everyone. My name is Peggy Lucas, and I am here for my mother, Betty Jenkins, concerning her basement. I was here back in September. I spoke with Mr. Matthews. I spoke also with Mr. Winkins. The city been out working. Her basement is bagged up. I done had 4 plumbers to come out. Roto-Rooter was the last one to come out, charged us $800. We still having the same problem even after the city left. So the problem is not resolved. The city been out for 2 weeks working in the, so all I'm trying to do is get help for my mother. She's a senior citizen. We pump in the basement 3 times a day. Out the main trap, it's coming out the floor drains. And still cannot access the alley. Once they come back in and run the snake again, after the city said that it was our problem. Get help from my mother.
Address you gave us on Kentucky, the house where the problem is happening? Okay.
One of the things we can do is get General Services Department to clean out the alley so that if Roto-Rooter can't get back there, we can't get back there either, so that we could at least get back to the sewer and put a camera in and look at it from that angle. But I'm assuring you that we're gonna be back out there and we're gonna solve the problem for you. It may be that the sewer line has disconnected from the main. Roto-Rooter can't see that, but we'll look at it from the alley side and see if we can. And then, as this board knows, we are expecting $184 million to be able to work on just these type problems. It's my understanding from the deputy director that those contracts will be going out within the next week or 2. And so we should be able to find a solution to this problem sooner rather than later.
I have an email and a picture. Once they got done doing servicing the city line, it came back saying that it was my mom's trap, but it's not. Roto-Rooter came back out and cannot access to tap into the city line. I went back and took a picture after the city workers left, and the manhole is still full of debris. I took pictures of that as well. If that manhole is not open, I water the flow. It's in our alley, in my mom's alley. I lived over there 58 years. In that alley, I know that alley. We played in that alley.
Yeah, it,
Oh, in that alley. Even the store have plumbing problems. Everybody over there in that area has plumbing problems. I had to tell one of the seniors to stop calling the plumber out because it's not gonna work.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much, Ms. Lucas. Brandon Anderson? Good afternoon, Mr. Anderson. How are you? Very well, thank you.
My name is Brandon Anderson.
Microphone, would you?
My name is Brandon Anderson. I am, a young pastor of, Soul Deliverance Church. Well, it was Soul Deliverance Church. Now it's I Worship Center. I just got back from Georgia, maybe about a year and a half ago with my family, to take over this church that had been closed since pandemic. Did the research on everything, found out there was a $35,000 water bill connected to the church. My question was to the people on the water board, when I talked to them over the phone, was how did the bill get this backed up? The people that were there, I know they were responsible, although they had ailments. They were older. The previous pastor, and things of that nature, they took care of business and things of that nature. But I just wanted to know, how could it get to $35,000 and then cause us to have to pay taxes? So when we got back, we have to take our personal monies and things of that nature to try to get things back going, and we're just trying to really be a blessing to the community. We're trying to build the community back up to where it could be. And it's hard to do ministry when you're in that big of a rut, to help the community, to, be a blessing. So far, we have been able to do a little, but just the amount that we will really be able to do if we had this burden off of our backs. That's really all I come down to ask mercy for, and to see what could be done concerning that. We're doing what we can as it pertains to paying the bill and keeping it up to date as much as we can. And we're rebuilding this particular ministry. So that's just my concern in my heart. And that's just it. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and hope you can help me.
if, we want to set up an appointment for you to come back, and we will sit down with you, walk you through how the bill got to be $35,000. I'm not really understanding how it could have an effect on a church, because churches aren't paying taxes, but we will walk you through that. We will also walk you through ways in which churches are able to offset drainage charges, which are the main charge for the parking lots and impervious surfaces that you may or may not have. So we're not going to solve it here at the microphone, but if you'll set up an appointment, I'll have my staff meet with you. We'll walk you through it, and then we'll also share with you what's available to be able to reduce the churches. And thank you for coming back to Detroit and being willing to be a part of the solution and not the problem. So thank you.
For hearing my voice. Thank you.
How is your ministry going? You're getting a good congregation?
We're actually truly building from ground zero. 2020 kind of took a lot of those members out, and there was a few people that were still there, and they kind of dispersed. And now it's kind of word of mouth, So we're growing. I'm thankful for where we are. We're doing a little bit. We were able to do Toys for Tots this last Christmas. We was able to give out bikes to the community. We were able to give book bags out for back to school. So we're able to do some things. It's really hard for us to really go in that direction where we're looking to go for that particular area with that big of a burden on our backs.
Well, very best of luck to you. Is there anyone else in the room who would like to address the board? Is there anyone online that would like to address the board?
There's one person online.
There is one individual.
There's two.
Jasmine Dorch. Dorch, Dortch.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Jasmine Dorch. I'm a pastor, and I kind of have some of the same concerns as Brandon Anderson, and how, if possible, if you can explain how drainage fees are applied to a building when it was sitting closed for a while, and how do the city assess that when other properties are around that area? Because I know if a water bill is not paid within a certain amount of time, there it do become taxes that the church or the next owner will have to pay for it. So if you could kind of help us out, because again, as Brandon Anderson stated, that how we try to make a great impact on the community and help Detroit grow as it should, but having taxes applied to the church, along with we've been charged for the act of God. You know, we cannot control rain, we cannot control the snow. So it's snowing now, so when it melts, that means a bigger bill is being applied to churches or commercial property, things of that nature, and maybe the residents as well. So maybe if you can, to explain why is it a big burden, you know, for the act of God, for the rain or to snow, that has been applying to the residents or pastors and churches in that capacity.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, if she could make sure that she leaves her contact information in the chat, we will do the same thing that we indicated we would do for the previous pastor, set up an appointment and walk through how drainage charges accumulate.
Right. Thank you very much, Ms. Dorch. Is there anyone else who would like to address the board?
Yes, Mr. Chair, Miko Williams.
All right.
Miko Williams, you can unmute yourself.
Mr. Williams, Happy New Year.
Hello, Happy New Year, board members. How are you? Hope you all are staying warm. It is very cold outside and the snow is piling up. So hopefully people can stay home and stay warm because water heats up their radiators. We are a radiator city where lots of heat is distributed through the radiators, through water. First of all, my name is D'Amico Williams. I'm the Chief Executive Director of Hydrate Detroit. We're a 501c3 water rights organization that provides assistance with water bills, consultation and advocacy. And also, I just want to say to the board, thank you so much for your partnership and working with us with the clients that we bring you in a timely manner and assisting them. They are very grateful. My first question, first and foremost, is the board, we miss you guys in the community. We would love for you guys to come back to the community.
Did we lose him?
Lose you? D'Amico?
Mr. Chair, it
Affordable
appears that
parking.
All right.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can.
Okay. I was asking, when are you guys set to come to the community? When are you going to do a tour for residents in different districts to meet with you all instead of us coming downtown with the unaffordable parking and the construction? That's my first question. If I can have that answered, that would be great. My second concern is in response to the subcommittee meeting and the customer service committee, where we casually talked about water shutoffs, and we should be alarmed that we're shutting off water again. And I would like for Director Brown to lay out the steps of what is preventable methods to keep residents from having their water shut off. You say you send a letter. Do you add a phone call to this? Are you calling residents like DTE does when payment is due? How many of those residents are being shut off due to the lifeline expiration? And the third question I also have in regards to Lifeline, I heard the information shared, and thank you to We the People of Detroit for their advocacy. But my concern is how many of those Lifeline former participants have been re-enrolled into the new H2O program that was current on their bills. I do have clients that are inquiring about this. Their bill's gone back sky high, and they have not gotten any information. I would like for them to be re-enrolled into this new program. That's my time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Williams.
Mr. Chair, just a couple of points. While the board hasn't been out in the community for a board meeting, I don't want anyone to believe that DWSD doesn't have a presence in the community. We have representatives at every city council community meeting. We have members at every city department community meeting. And we're currently making plans to put customer service representatives in every district of the city of Detroit on a daily basis to be able to assist. Secondly, the question about how can a person prevent a shutoff? Every Detroiter in this city has the opportunity not to have a service interruption if they simply ask for the help. We do all of the things that D'Amico asked for. We do phone calls, we send letters, we put notices in the bills, but we go to the extraordinary step of we go to the house, directly to the house, knock on the door 10 days prior to any service interruption to explain to people that if they just simply get into Easy Pay, which costs $10, just $10, they are protected from shutoff. There is no one, everyone that is currently in Easy Pay and Lifeline, either one of those two programs, they're all protected from shutoff. Within the next 30 to 60 days, we're going to have 50,000 households in either Lifeline or Easy Pay, and they're protected from shutoff. Unfortunately, until we actually put a notice on someone's door that says a shutoff could take place in 10 days, that's when they enroll into Easy Pay and get protected. And so I just want to reemphasize, every single Detroiter has the ability not to see a service interruption if they just ask for the help. 50,000 households represents 150,000 Detroiters, people that are protected from shutoff right now. And we're only trying to grow those numbers. And we're going to put a full court press on to get more people into those programs, because if you're in either one of them, you're protected from shutoff. The shutoffs are really designed not for low-income customers, because as you know, 95% is the average for all utilities to collect. 95% of what they bill, they collect. We do our budget, you approve a budget at 90%. So 10% of our budget is accounting for low-income customers. DWSD's issue is the people that can afford to pay without having a consequence don't pay regularly, about 30% of our customers. And so that's what the service interruptions are trying to get at. The people that can afford to pay, that live in wealthy neighborhoods in the city of Detroit that aren't paying. We account for our low-income customers. We have programs for our low-income customers. So we talk a lot about shutting off a low-income person, but we don't ever talk about what are you going to do to customers that can afford to pay, that are middle class, but are not paying. There has to be a consequence for that person. So I'll leave it there, but I don't want anybody to believe that we're not out in the community. We absolutely are. My staff is in the community at meetings 3 to 4 times a week. And again, we're putting together plans right now to have DWSD representatives in every council district in the city on a daily basis in order to service our customers more efficiently. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I have a couple of thoughts about that. First of all, I think it'd be something we should think about, a good idea. We stopped going out in the community because of the pandemic. And going out 4 times a year is not a big stretch. So maybe we should consider rescheduling our community meetings. We have traditionally held them at churches and other faith-based organizations, and it's an opportunity to reach out to those folks as well as get in the neighborhood. So let's take a look at doing that. And then I just want to underscore what the director said. There's not a single person on the council who takes any delight at all in interrupting anybody's service. We all know how important water is to a household. But again, our experience when we issued the moratorium during the pandemic was people who were perfectly capable of paying just didn't pay. Now, I'm not suggesting they're bad people. I'm not suggesting anything other than that is human nature. And if you recall, and I do, when the moratorium stopped, where were some of the highest unpaid bills? Palmer Woods, Sherwood Forest, Rosedale Park. And the truth that we confront is some people, if they don't have to pay, they won't pay. And then what's the consequence if we don't insist on people paying their bill? It means that the people who do pay their bill are going to pay a higher bill because the costs are what the costs are. And so, Mr. Williams and others, we hear you loud and clear. And if there was a magic wand to say nobody will ever have their services interrupted, we would waive it. But the fact of the matter is we do need to have this incentive. And I think one of the proud things we can look at in the last couple of years is establishing the programs that reached out to people of limited income to make sure that their opportunity to get their water would be affordable for them. And you know, we say this periodically, but it's important to say it again. Commissioners? All right.
You said, Mr. Chair, it is our goal to make sure that all of our customers have the water they need to be able to operate their households. There's no incentive for us not to do that. So that is our goal, and that is our objective, and that is the objective of the entire department.
Mr. Phillips?
Yep. Mr. Chair, we have one more hand raised.
All right, let me go ahead. Okay. And who is that?
Norel Hemphill.
Ms. Hemphill.
Yes, good afternoon, Attorney Norel Hemphill.
Good afternoon.
I serve as the Legal and Public Policy Manager at We the People of Detroit. And I wanted to thank you for responding to our questions. The questions that we have are questions that are raised by members of the community, and we do often need to report back that information to ensure the communication, the free flow of information, and that community members know what to expect. In that same vein, I would like to report on Easy Pay. I had an elder who is on a fixed income. She received Social Security report back about Easy Pay. She was previously on Lifeline. She had some family issues and was not able to pay her bill for a couple of months due to having to help out her grandson. She accumulated arrears. We know that Lifeline ended, and then all of those arrears came due. Her monthly water bill is about $70 a month, and then the arrears were broken up over through Easy Pay. So now she has $125 that she must pay on Easy Pay, and then her $70 monthly water bill. And it's unaffordable. So while Easy Pay, I think, can be a good solution for some, for others who can't afford a $70 water bill, they definitely can't afford nearly a $200 water bill. So I know that we're all working together to serve the citizens of Detroit, and I believe that we need to think deeper and more creatively about ways to keep people's water on. We believe that water is a human right, and we do work to that end. We do have legislation right now in the House of Representatives that we're asking the Water Department to support. We understand that there's a Senate package that you're supporting also, and we do not see a reason why we can't support both the Senate assistance package as well as the House affordability package, because affordability is what we're all striving for. We know that when there was a moratorium, the collections went down 20%. And when those water bills are uncollectible, we know that those go into the next year's rate. So we all end up paying for that one way or another. So again, we're trying to keep everybody's water on, keep them, because water is a human right, and we know that it's human dignity, health, like a lot of people who get their water turned off, the low-income residents, these are our service workers. These are our elders. These are our children. So again, thank you for all that you do to get the information out to the community. Thank you for being free-flowing with the information.
Thank you, Ms. Hemphill.
Hemphill, I just want to be clear. Did you just say that we, the people of Detroit, supports the legislation that Senator Chang in the Senate has currently?
I've said that we know that DWSD is supporting that legislation, and we would like to invite you to support the legislation that we have in the House as well. Because the Senate package is an assistance package, and the House package is an affordability package. And so we believe that DWSD can move those two parts in tandem.
And I believe that we'd be much stronger in getting this legislation if we, the people of Detroit, would support the state legislation. Are you willing to do that?
Am I willing to do that? Right. So right now we're working to come to a full solution. I can't tell you right now in this meeting that we're supporting the legislation. We know that we have been working to get clarity on the difference between assistance and affordability. So as we clarify those lines and those things develop, then we'll be able to move things forward. For us, we think it's important that you support both, because again, both of those are different parts of the solution on the pathway to true water affordability. So we can stop having these conversations about shutoffs and lifeline plans and easy pay. As more people have water bills that they can afford, more people pay in the system. People do not want to not pay their water bill. You know, low-income residents are deciding to pay their water bills or buy groceries, pay their water bills or get their grandkids to school, pay their water bills or afford their medicine. Like these are not choices that people are making just for the sake of snubbing DWSD. No, that's not the issue at all. So again, I thank you for being a thought partner and coming to creative solutions so that we can figure out a way to true water affordability.
All right. Thank you very much, Ms. Hemphill.
Just want the board to be clear that the state legislation would put a $1.25 fee on every meter in the state of Michigan that would accumulate an amount of money that every utility in the state of Michigan could tap into. And for DWSD, that would mean thousands of more people could be put on Lifeline with those dollars. And so the first thing I want to say, while the legislation isn't perfect, had to compromise on things that I wanted in there that I didn't get, it's at least a start. It's a funding source to be able to get more people into Lifeline. It is not perfect, but to say it's not a true affordability program and I won't support it when it will generate millions of dollars for every utility in the state to tap into is a little disingenuous. So I just want the board to be clear.
To put in perspective, water affordability is not exclusively a Detroit problem. You know, there are people in many other communities, and I have a friend who is a treasurer of Clinton Township, I think. And I said to him, what do you do about past due water arrearages? He says, we put them on the property tax roll, and if they don't pay in 5 years, we can put them out of their house. I don't think that's a preferable way to do this, but the point is Clinton Township and communities all over have water affordability problems. So I think the fact that this is a statewide solution is very good.
Mr. Chair?
Hey, yes.
Sorry to interrupt. There is no more hands raised from public comment, but there was one additional in person.
Yeah.
I just provided that.
Is it Mary Carmen?
Yes.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mary Carmen Munoz. I'm the Executive Director for Latin Americans for Social and Economic Development, also known as LACED in Southwest Detroit. We're the oldest Latino advocacy agency in Detroit and in the metro area, I believe. But I would like to take a moment to thank Matthew Phillips and the Detroit Public Water Commission for the good that you do for our community, for the help that you do provide to the lower income residents and our clients that come in every day seeking assistance, whether it's paying your water bill, trying to make your other utilities, learning to how to negotiate to get better prices on your medications, et cetera. This is a very difficult time for quite a few people. But your team, Matthew Phillips, heads up a great team of people that are willing to work with ours. We do everything we can to advise our community of Lifeline and the Easy Pay programs. There are some clients that we sign them up for Easy Pay or Lifeline, and they come in every month to make sure that they maintain their side of the agreement. People do want to pay their water bills, and your organization wants to help people do so. So muchas gracias. Thank you very much for all you do. Thank you.
We so appreciate what LACED does and has done for many, many years, and appreciate you. Commissioner Kinlock.
With all the discussion on water affordability and the efforts of this department, this board has spent a lot of time working with the director and his team to find ways to get our local, our state, as well as our federal government to create a permanent funding source. So we have absolutely been doing everything we could humanly possible and making sure we built a coalition around getting the support for many pieces of legislation over the years. No one wants to shut off utilities. Folks heard my family put our business all out there, and I've mentioned in the past of our water getting turned off. And it is a horrible experience for families who can't afford it to go through. But as the director said, we have in real time, real experience, where individuals who can afford to pay the water bill have chosen and continue to choose not to pay the water bill. We may not publicize it, but this department, during business hours and off hours, does its best to restore service to individuals who cannot afford to pay the water bill. That's not something widely known, but this department, and I guess I shouldn't be saying it, but everything humanly possible when we identify that individuals cannot afford to pay their water bill, and looking at the history, they do everything to get their water turned back on. And I commend this department for that. But you cannot have people who can't afford to pay their water bill to put the burden on everyone else. And so, I've seen it firsthand. I know what this department does in trying to respond in ways that DTE absolutely does not. They'll turn your lights off in a moment's notice and there is no consideration for in the way that the water department takes into consideration. So that's what I wanted to really say. Thank you.
All right, is there anyone else? Hearing there is no one else who wishes to address the board, we will close public comment, and we will move to item 6, communication. And recall that among the communications we're accepting is the one that's at your place. Is there a motion? Commissioner Blackman.
That we approve and receive and file correspondence, receive correspondence to 2026-228.
And is there support? Support, Commissioner Garcia. Questions or comments? All.
Regarding Lifeline H2O initial enrollment, December 10th, 2025 is among those correspondence items.
Yes. Thank you. Any other questions or comments? All in favor of receiving and filing the communication, please say aye. That's adopted unanimously. Are there items from commissioners? Commissioner Blackman.
Mr. Chair, I just want to thank the department for the outstanding work they did with customers who were referred to me. One was quite an elderly customer who had been having problem after problem after problem every month, not quite understanding. And they went to extreme detail with that customer to help her understand what her bill should be and what they could do to help her. So commendations to all of those in customer service who help our customers daily. But these were two really customers who had, I guess I would say, very unfortunate circumstances that they did not quite know how to work through, and the department did an excellent job of doing that. Thank you, Mr. Smalley.
Yes, Commissioner Garcia.
Happy New Year's to everybody. I want to make sure we say that, and I just wanted you to know, just like I feel about our Commissioner Jonathan, that it is so important that we tell all the staff, Mr. Director, all the people that work for you, all the people that give so much time to make sure that the residents of the city of Detroit do not go without water. I just want you to know how important that is in these very difficult times. I know that as the head of the oldest nonprofit in our community, it is very difficult for people even to come out and collect food. It's just been that very difficult, and we're actually dealing with the repercussions of ice surrounding the schools and the supermarkets and everybody else. So I ask all of you to pray for this country, that I think it's going under a lot of bad situations. And I think that the water board, our water board, is probably one of the best in the country. Every time I talk about it, when I travel, you know, they don't have commissioners that give so much time back to our community and the department that cares so much about the residents. So muchísimas gracias as we start off this new year.
Commissioner Garcia. Are there any other items from commissioners? Hearing none, we move on to unfinished business. We have none. Next, we move to the approval of the consent agenda, and those would be items 9A through O. The consent agenda consists of several contracts and other acquisitions that were considered by the Finance Committee and other appropriate committees in detail. They are presented to us for a single motion, but consent means unanimous consent. Are there any items that any commissioners would like to remove from the consent agenda to be considered separately? All right, I hear none. Is there a motion? Commissioner Forte. It's been moved to approve the consent agenda. Is there any discussion regarding any of the items on the consent agenda? Hearing none then, all those in favor of approving, please say aye. And that is adopted unanimously. So next we move to new business. Item A has been removed. Item B, an amendment to the bylaws of the Water Commissioners. Is there a motion? It's been moved by Commissioner Kinloch. Is there support? Support. On
page
Griff?
Yes, yes, Commissioner. Do you want to read it? It's on page 96. Look on page 96. This thing right here.
Mr. Chair, I move upon recommendation and opinion from Scott McGriff, General Counsel for the Board of Water Commissioners of the City of Detroit Water and Sewage Department, that we hereby approve an amendment to Article 9 of our bylaws to establish an audit committee, which will report to the Board of Water Commissioners and appoints appoint an audit committee, and that the chair appoint, let me read this. Let me just read it. I move that the Board of Water Commissioner approve the amendment to Article 9 of our bylaws to establish an audit committee, which will report to the Board of Water Commissioners, appoints the Finance Committee chairperson as the audit committee chairperson, and authorizes the board secretary to take such other action as may be necessary to accomplish the intent of this vote.
It's been moved and supported. Mr. McGriff?
Yes, yes, Mr. Chairman. As you can tell from the motion, we are asking the board to create an audit committee that will be staffed by our new internal auditor, and Mr. Rahman will talk to the board and make a short presentation as to the need for this position.
Yep. Good afternoon, Commissioners. Istikhar Rahman, Chief Financial Officer, DWSD. As an audit committee is being formed, I'd like to introduce our internal audit manager, who recently came on board, who will be heading the internal audit function. Her name is Samantha Camarina. Samantha? Say hi.
Hi, Commissioners. Nice to meet you. I'm Samantha Camarina. I'm the new Internal Audit Manager for DWSD. I started back in November, and I'm looking forward to working with you.
Do you mind telling us a little bit about your background?
Yep. So I have a background in auditing through external auditing and internal. I started my career at Ernst & Young in Detroit, took a transfer to San Diego, and then came back to Detroit working with Siegfried, an advisory consulting firm, as well as then working with Ally as the internal audit manager there.
Well, thank you very much and welcome.
I just want to give a brief update on why an audit committee is important for DWSD. It's a crucial good governance concept that provides independent oversight of our financial reporting as well as internal controls and risk management. This protects us from investors' interest as well as ensure independence. This committee acts as a vital link between the board of directors, our board of commissioners, management, as well as the external auditors, and ensuring accuracy, transparency, and accountability in financial processes. So the internal audit function, which will be starting soon with Ms. Camarina leading the group, it's an important function and will be designed and implement conformance with the Institute of Internal Auditors Global Auditing Standards. The purpose of internal auditing at a very high level is conformance with the Global Internal Audit Standards, which states that internal auditing is most effective when the internal audit function is independently positioned within the organization and reports directly to an independent committee, which ultimately reports to our independent board of commissioners. Finally, I just want to say that establishing the audit committee as a standing committee of the board supports DWSD's internal audit function to be most effective and in conformance with the global internal auditing standards. It helps us maintain independence as well as establish a direct reporting relationship to the board. Thank you.
Right. Questions or comments? Commissioner Kinloch.
So the auditor, the internal auditor, does that require a board approval? If you're talking about, a clear oversight, a lot of times the audit committee has, or the board has some sort of involvement in both the hiring and or termination of that internal auditor. Even if you have the recommendation coming from the executive or the finance, the executive, I would say, the department, but just having some sort of ratification process for by the board or the audit committee itself. Yeah.
It's very true, Commissioner. The reason we introduced her is for you guys to accept that appointment and authorize her functioning as the internal auditor. The
process will be such that this meeting today will form the committee. The next monthly board meeting next month, Samantha and Commissioner Forte will work together to develop the charter for the committee that will then be presented at next month's board meeting for your approval. And so you'll be able to look at the details, the charter. They'll have a presentation for you at next month's meeting. So this meeting forms a committee. Next month's meeting presents the charter for approval.
That's
the details that you've just talked about.
charter will outline at a very high level the roles and responsibilities of the audit committee charter, as well as eventually Samantha will present the internal audit charter, which will lay out the function of the internal auditing and the roles and responsibilities and how it'll function going forward. The intent at this time is for this audit committee to meet every quarter, not necessarily every month, because it might be an overkill to do it every month. So meeting every quarter with the committee and then eventually reporting to the board every quarter.
Yep, and she gave a great presentation. Looking forward to receiving the recommendation. Yep.
I think this is long overdue, to be very honest. An audit committee, in terms of most boards, we try to differentiate areas of responsibility. The board is responsible for policy in broad terms. The administration is responsible for administration, for the details. Nobody on staff reports directly to the board with this exception, because we want our internal auditor, and I'm guessing what the charter is going to say, but the auditor is going to report to the chair of the audit committee so that he or she feels completely free to raise any concerns directly with the board. And all of us know our friends at the Riverfront Conservancy are, have not had a good year. And I think having an independent audit committee with those direct lines is one of the most important steps we can take to maintain our fiscal integrity. Yes, Commissioner Garcia?
I need the mic. I just wanted to clarify in my head, audit committee would work very closely with the finance committee. Am I correct? No? No? Yes.
No, it's separate. It's separate and independent.
I understand, because an audit, when you usually do an audit that I know of, you do it once a year, okay? And that's basically to find out where you're at financially, I guess, but you always get the reports from your finance committees. I'm just trying to make sure that I understand.
Oversight of the finance.
Oh.
Explain the difference, Commissioner.
That's correct. It's an oversight committee.
In my head, okay, no problem. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Auditors conduct their audit once a year and formally report, and will continue to do so. Internal auditors are auditing every day. Any other questions? All right then. On the motion to amend our bylaws, does this require a roll call? Roll call anyways, so we've got belts and suspenders. Do we have a motion on the floor? We have a motion on the floor. All right. Then all those, let's call the roll for those, the yeas and the nays.
Chairperson Einhauser,
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Blackman, Commissioner Garcia, Commissioner Kinlock, Commissioner Forte.
That is adopted. And Samantha, thank you and welcome. I'm sorry to call you by your first name. What is your last name? Welcome aboard. Thank you. And next are the director's metrics. Mr. Director.
Mr. Chair, I'm going to be brief. I just want to speak just very briefly about the water main breaks that we're having this time of year with the sub-zero temperatures. Our crews are doing a fantastic job. We have approximately 42 water main breaks going right now. To my knowledge, there's nobody that's out of water. We've rectified those situations. There may be one apartment building that was being worked on this morning, and I'm hopeful that they'll be back in service by the end of the day. I just want the general public to know that if they see a water main break, that they can report it through the Detroit app or by calling 313-267-8000. As you know, we prioritize our water main breaks. People that are out of water, we do those first. If it's on a main street that may have buses or transportation issues, that's our second priority. And so citizens may see a water main break that's leaking. We've throttled it down so that it will run into a sewer, only because we're trying to prioritize some more important water main breaks. As soon as we have everybody back in service, we go back and get them all done. So I know you've seen the news the last couple of days all around us, and our suburban neighbors are dealing with much more severe problems than we're having. I just want to be hopeful that the 600 miles of sewers that we're assessing on a yearly basis is starting to take effect. But I'm going to knock on some wood because I know we're going down to, I think I heard minus 25 degree wind chill factors and below zero. So I know that we're going to continue to have this problem for a while. But rest assured, our crews, our contractors are working really hard in unbearable conditions in order to make sure people have heat. I have a boiler. If I'm out of water, I don't have heat. I'm sure there are a lot of Detroiters are in my situation. So we're not unsympathetic. We're working hard to get people back in service as quickly as possible. Director, you have any field service things to report?
Thank you, Director Brown. The only thing I will add is that, as Director Brown mentioned earlier, we're hoping to advertise the alley sewer repair project. It's $174 million that will go through alleys in every council district throughout the city, repairing failed connections and sinkholes in those alleys, to give our customers a fighting chance to mitigate against flood risk. We hope to help at least 10,000 houses with this money. It's the first major initiative of its kind. So we're going to be advertising hopefully by the end of this week and opening bids probably by the middle of February. So for all of our contractors, big, medium, and small, please pay attention. It'll be advertised through the city's procurement site. Thank you, Director Brown.
All right. Questions or comments for the director, deputy director? Are there comments by commissioners? I think this board is not bashful about making comments when they come into their head. So we don't need to save it for the end of the meeting. But anyone have any comments they'd like to make?
I just want to repeat the comment I made earlier about the excellent service our customer service staff, employees are doing to help customers who are having extremely difficult situations and not, from their perspective, not being able to get them resolved. And when I referred them to our customer service people and to our assistant director, they were handled promptly and completely to the customer satisfaction. Accommodations around.
That's right. And let us keep in mind our employees who are repairing those mains in sub-zero temperatures. Any other comments from any commissioners? Comments by the chair. I've made my comments through the meeting. Are there any other matters to come before the Board of Commissioners? If not, a motion to adjourn is in order. It's been moved and supported. All those in favor of adjourning, please say aye. Commissioner, she says